Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the weekly MMA Cycles Market Update. Today is Wednesday, August 6th, 2025. I'm Gianni Di Poce, your host, and we are coming into another pretty intense period of geocosmic activity. We're going to have a couple of oppositions between Mars and Saturn and Neptune. Obviously, Saturn and Neptune are both in orb of a conjunction in the sign of Aries, and with Mars just recently ingressing into the sign of Libra, we're coming into a conjunction between those, an opposition between those planets later this week. So let me go ahead and jump over to my charts here, taking a look at the Dow Jones, which is up slightly on the day. We're starting to see some tariff headlines creep back into the picture here. Tariffs on potential semiconductors, otherwise known as chips, as well as pharmaceuticals. And now it seems like tariffs with India are coming into the headlines as well. So we'll have to keep monitoring that situation. But for now, stocks are digesting this news in stride. I had a conversation with Ray over the phone yesterday, and he was referencing volume 3 of the Ultimate Book on stock market timing, in which the opposition between Mars and Saturn has a pretty strong correspondence to certain types of crests forming in the market. And so we're coming into that period right now. We'll see what happens. But obviously, we have Mercury going direct early next week, followed by a conjunction between Venus and Jupiter. Pretty favorable aspect in the sign of Cancer, no less. A sign that Jupiter is exalted in. We even have a sextile between Saturn and Uranus in the picture, plus a trine between Mars and Pluto. So a bit intense to end the week, but I think we start next week with a bit more optimism from a geocosmic standpoint. So we'll see if we get a little bit more of a sell-off going into the weekend before potentially reversing back higher next week. You take a look here at the NASDAQ 100. You are still seeing this lead to the upside. You had some mixed earning reports recently. Advanced Micro Devices, a big semiconductor name, falling pretty hard today, but you have some other smaller semiconductor stocks doing rather well in today's session. Apple also seeing a nice rotation into it today, up almost 6% so far on the day, which is pretty noteworthy because along with Tesla, it's really been the only stocks. These have been the only stocks within the Magnificent Seven that have not participated to the upside very much this year. So obviously with Uranus being in the sign of Gemini, we're looking for an automobile name like Tesla to eventually do well. So perhaps some opportunities there to keep an eye on. I do want to take a look at bonds because now we have a situation where there's a 90% probability that the Federal Reserve is going to lower interest rates at the September meeting. And what's interesting is that if you look at the Federal Reserve Board natal chart, you're actually going to have Jupiter on the Fed's ascendant right around that time. It's about a 2-degree orb. And so to me, that says easing. And now with the latest jobs report showing some serious issues, it actually led to President Trump firing the head of the Bureau of Labor Statistics. I think that we need to continue to look for interest rates to come down and for opportunities in the bond market. But today, you are seeing well, I should say you were seeing crude oil up. We just reversed pretty hard right now, it seems. Still some issues in this, but of course the opposition between Mars and Neptune later this week could be a catalyst for a reversal in this market. Still some cyclical issues we're looking to sort out here in USO, the oil fund. But still, once the Fed starts lowering rates again, we do have to consider that that means money printing, and some of that will likely make its way into the commodity market. Let's take a look at currencies. The euro is seeing a decent bid today against the dollar. The Japanese yen is up slightly against the dollar, and that is actually giving precious metals a little bit of some support underneath. Gold is down slightly, but silver is up slightly. And so we're seeing some good price action on that front. Again, we've seen Neptune aspects be very supportive of precious metals. So we'll see if we can break to new cycle highs here. We'll keep an eye on that. And of course, when it comes to cryptocurrencies, we're coming to the end of this Mercury retrograde period, which has largely have been one of choppiness and sideways action, both in Bitcoin and Ethereum. So it looks like we're in the process of hammering out a higher low. To me, it still looks bullish. And, the conjunction between Venus and Jupiter could be another catalyst to push this market back into its uptrend. You can see here Ethereum still hanging out near its highs, displaying some very bullish price action. So that's all I have for today. We are going to be publishing the latest edition of the monthly cycles report early next week, so you can find all the details about that at www.mmacycles.com. Enrollment for the Merriman Market Timing Academy is still open, but there's only about a dozen spots left. The applications have been coming in honestly faster than I've expected. So if you just want to reserve your spot, send us an email at customerservice@mmacycles.com because they are filling up quickly. And, we're starting on September 27th, but we may actually have to close the registration window before then if we hit our capacity of 50 students. Aside from that, I just want to let you know that we're going to have a very exciting guest, one of your favorites, back on our YouTube channel next week. So stay tuned for that. And aside from all that good stuff, feel free to hit the like button, subscribe to this channel. We'll be back same time, same place next week. Thanks again, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your week.